It's official. First video, finally. It took a long journey to get here, and I am so thankful finally that I can share my thoughts and my hard work into this project. And welcome to the very first vlog, y'all. My name is Marcus, aka Salem Queer, and this is a channel for horror reviews and rankings and just in general horror entertainment. And I created this platform to create discussions with a big, wider community. And I want to hear everyone's thoughts on movies and other content that you may have some insight on and what I share as well. And I'm currently doing this all in my living room because the office space is still being fixed, made up. So I apologize for the background over here. But soon we will get an office space that's decked out in some horror and some good vibes. Until then, this is the best we can do. Let me go into what this video per se will look like and the channel itself. This video is going to be a review of one of my favorite horror films, and I'll dive in deeper later on why I chose this film. And then the channel itself, I again just want to create a platform that creates a discussion about one of my favorite things in life, which is horror cinema and thrillers too, because I consider that into the genre mix. And I just want to have an open discussion on what maybe people's insights are and what maybe some of the elements I may have missed in certain cinema that I could go back and revisit and have a different mindset. And then also too, I want to introduce people to the genre and the field and the lovely entertainment, because I feel like there's a lot of people I've come across too horror, and there's different types of horror that we can appreciate. So hopefully my platform can help introduce more horror fans and get them dove into what is necessary and what is honestly entertaining. So let's dive into the first video that I will do a movie review. So the first movie that we are going to review is Halloween 1978. So what motivated me to pick this particular film? Well, it just has a place in my heart, honestly. It was the very, very first horror film introduced to me, and that was back when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and my grandmother is the one who introduced me to it, and I just have some nostalgic feels about it. And as I've grown older as well, I've always revisited this movie to get back into those nostalgic feels and help me get into more the fall Halloween vibes, since now we're in October. And I just feel like my views and insight of this film has really changed and really allowed me to dive in deeper of why I really appreciate this particular film. So I like to do my reviews based on 3 things of rating a movie. So the 3 things include acting, the writing, and the filmmaking. And that's just my opinion, what these 3 ingredients makes a great horror film, and also in general a cinema movie too. And before again I continue on, I just want to say this is a strongly just opinion based. I'm not saying my opinion is solely right. I just would like to share what my thoughts are, so don't take this as like I'm an expert and I'm right and no one else is right, okay? Everyone has different taste in horror films and different taste in even like pizza, for example. So again, please do not be too upset with my thoughts and feelings about each movie review that I do on here, and I just appreciate that so much. Thank you. So let's dive into one of those 3 ingredients of why I like to say this is one of the best and the most pivotal, and it's like a milestone in the horror community. Oh wait, need to pause. So before I continue, this is going to be some spoilers in here. So again, if you're very new into the horror community and you don't want any spoilers on this film particularly, I would suggest you to stop right now with the video and maybe go into Halloween 1978 and watch it. And then if you want to come back and hear what my thoughts and ideas and all are, then come back to this point, and then maybe you can comment below and share your thoughts and insight on it too. I know, you're just so antsy. Anyway, so what I really appreciated and liked about this film was how it was done without any need of like blood or over the top, and it just had that nice good suspense to it. And what added into that suspense was all about, again, the filmmaking, the acting, and the writing of it. And from start to begin, well, from the start, it was just very done well of how to use the shots as a point of view for Michael Myers, for example. From like a child at the very beginning, you can see him as like a clown, and he's like preparing and getting ready to kill his sister Judith Myers, and it was just like so tastefully done. And also it just had you kind of put yourself into his shoes, and that's just made things even just more terrifying in my opinion. Another thing that with the filmmaking that done so well was the blue lighting effect. You could see some of the blue lighting effect being done in moments of the film, like Jamie Lee Curtis, aka Laurie Strode, in the doorway thinking that what the hell is going on? I've seen all my friends dead in the room, and she's in the, again, doorway in the back, and you can see Michael Myers' face just pop up, and that blue light effect just brings a pop to that suspense. What also was very well done for me was the acting. Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence just really did such a great job in their roles, to the point like you can't think of anyone else being fit into those characters. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode and Donald Pleasence is Dr. Loomis. And I've been trying to like think about who could we picture and visualize on, I don't know, fulfilling those roles. And I mean, Rob Zombie tried to do that, and honestly, again, in my opinion, they did not have that big impact or influence or I don't know, just anything like how Jamie and Donald did. So I feel like their acting just made their characters seem so relatable and likable in a way, to the point of like you just fall in love with them. In the storytelling too / writing, it was done very well. I felt like the flow just made it seem kind of like paced very well. There was no like, oh, we are rapidly in the beginning and then just fall short, or we're starting off slow, flat line, and oh, okay, we're back here. I just feel like it kind of just kept up with it, very steady in my opinion. And the dialogue writing of it too, again, that kind of helps with the acting, but also just helps with the storyline of making it feel relatable and like in the Haddonfield, Illinois community. I can just think of like, wow, I could see this being in Wabash, Indiana. That's where I'm from and grew up, and I can see some of the characters as in like, well, I kind of know someone from high school that's similar to that, or how Laurie Strode is like, wow, like I could see a friend of mine as Laurie Strode being hyper aware and hyper observant, and wow, it just has you like jump in and capture into that. And that's what I love about writing and good horror in that sense as well. So overall, I like to do a 0 to 10 ranking on my movies, and again, with Halloween 1978, I feel like it just had all three really good moments. Or it had all three strong ingredients like I was mentioning earlier, and my overall rating for this film, it would be a 10 out of 10. And yeah, again, I don't feel like that changes very often for me. Halloween 1978 has just been one of my top, actually, 3 favorite horror films overall. And you'll find out some of my other types of horror films that I like, and maybe you'll see too what is considered my favorite. Now in this part of this video, I like to point out some moments that were my favorite and the moments that were probably not my favorite or I just question about. Some of my favorite moments in the film was, I again like the shot of Michael Myers in the background and Laurie in the doorway after she just found all of her friends dead in the room. Another favorite moment for me was Laurie Strode like running across the street trying to get into the house after discovering her friends dead across the street, and then Michael attacking her. And that shot that Michael is just walking up to her into the house, that level of filmmaking right there, the shots and how suspenseful that moment was so effective and brilliant, like so memorable, so iconic in that particular way. Love it. And my other favorite moment of the movie was when Laurie is kind of like walking on the sidewalk and she's kind of singing the song. What was it? It was "If I Could Have You All to Myself." I think it's something go with like that. And then you see Michael in his point of view off to the side and just staring at her off in the distance. It's just like moments like that. I'm like, oh, that's so kind of creepy how she's singing a song like that. And then she's getting stalked by a serial killer. So it's just like, wow. I don't know, very good. But there were some moments in this movie I kind of like still waiting on and questioning. For example, I'm still in this moment in my life, like, how did he escape the mental hospital? Like, if any of you know and figured out or listened to an interview that I may have missed and all, and being explained on that part of the movie of how he escaped, it just, please comment below. I want to know, and I want to hear your thoughts on that. Because the reason I ask is it didn't sound like he like killed anyone or harmed anyone in particular, because it was never mentioned in any of the next sequels, and especially in like Halloween 2018. It just like kept with the body count of like what we've seen as who gets murdered in Halloween 1978. So I'm just very curious on how he escaped. Still questioning. I don't know if I like that or not with the mystery, because again, this movie has some mystery to it where it's done very well and we don't need to know every single detail. But that piece, I'm just like, I would kind of want to know just how he did it. That just tells you about how evil can be creative and be dangerous. Another thing for me that I just didn't understand, but I kind of find it comical, is how he just knows how to drive. He started going into a mental hospital at age 6 or 7 years old, and then he escapes in his early 20s. And like, they don't, you know, teach driver's ed or anything like that in there. So I'm just curious, how did he just know how to drive? But I mean, that could be part of that element of mystery, like evil just has a way of finding out how to do certain shit. And yeah, so maybe we can take it as a grain of salt in that way. But those two moments in the movie didn't really like ruin my ranking or scoring, because it's just small stuff. It's nothing that ruined the storyline or the filmmaking or even the acting in that way for me. So, but I want to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on Halloween 1978. Is it one of your favorite horror films? Is it one of your favorites to just watch during October to help you get in the feels and vibes of spooky season? Or is there anything else that I may have missed that I should have like hit on about why is it so great, or maybe what could be more worked on with it? Please comment, subscribe, and like on my video. That helps me continue on making more of these. And also please share on what you want to see in the next video. Do you want to see more reviews, and what would you want me to review on? And probably the next video I'll do is a ranking video. I'll do a top 5 list, and maybe that can be the next one too. But yeah.